Welcome to the first episode of the Moms That Read podcast. I'm McKenzie.
I'm Katarina.
And I'm Kaylee. And today we are going to be talking about the top 5 books and worst books that we read last year. But first, we wanted to say a little bit about ourselves. I am a mom of 2, 8 and a 6-year-old, and I own a bakery.
I have a almost 2-year-old daughter, and I'm a middle school teacher.
And I have a 3-year-old and a 7-month-old, and I'm a stay-at-home mom. So a little bit about how we started this. We all go to church together, and we are in the same Bible study, and we always start a Bible study by talking about what we were reading. And so we decided it'd be fun to just actually do that on camera now, as opposed to talking about it in a bakery. So that's
Or at church after service.
And taking up a whole hour while the lunch rush comes in.
Yeah. So we wanted to start by talking about what we're reading right now. So I am rereading Fourth Wing because of Onyx Storm. I read it once. I read it like a year and a half ago, but I wanted to reread it because we started talking about theories, and I wanted to kind of see if I could tell anything from the story about what Violet's second signet would be.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also currently rereading Fourth Wing, moving on to Iron Flame, but I also just read Variation too. Another Rebecca Yarros, tried and true, 5-star.
I just read Lightlark. I just finished it, and I'm about to start Variation.
So, yeah. So we are going to talk today about our top 5 reads of 2024. So I don't think we've seen all of each other's lists, so it'll be kind of interesting.
Yeah.
So my first read, my top read of 2024 was 1,000 Boy Kisses, which I know neither of y'all have read.
No.
So
It makes me want to cry, scratch.
I
Don't
hate
do
books
it.
that make me cry, and I loved this one. So Kaylee's about to read it because I let her borrow it.
Yeah.
But basically, I can't give that much away because, okay, basically at the beginning of the book, this girl's grandmother dies, but before she dies, her grandmother says that she has to live her life having a good 1,000 kisses from a boy. And so she gives her a jar to record her 1,000 boy kisses. And then she has her whole life essentially to add her index card boy kisses to the jar when they make her feel something. Then there's a big twist, and I won't say it because I don't want to spoil it, but it's really sweet and it's amazing. So you should read it.
I think my top read of the year, neither one of y'all have read, Kingdom of Ash.
I read every book but that one.
Guilty.
Yeah.
I need to
Oh
read
my
it.
gosh. It is so
I didn't even put
That's
that
good.
worst 5. I'm adding it.
No,
Assassin's Blade's amazing.
it's not worse.
So good.
The ending made it a 3. I think I gave it a 3 on Goodreads. Sorry, RIP.
But you read it out of order.
Yeah.
I did.
You read it
So
order, and we have very strong opinions about the order.
That will honestly cause a war
Yeah.
based on your order of reading.
it needs to be read 3rd or 4th.
Yeah, Kingdom of Ash not Kingdom of Ash.
Assassin's Blade.
Assassin's Blade should not be read
No.
first at all.
No.
I support
Kingdom
that.
of Ash was
So I did the
Really
tandem
like
read, and then I got so tired of reading the same series that I have
Mhm.
not read
Very
the
strong
next
opinions.
one.
I have very
you
strong
haven't read
opinions
that
on the
one.
tandem.
I've read everything but the last book, and it's so long, and I just had a baby this year, so I couldn't get my goal in if I read another 1,000-page book.
It's literally
So
like 84 pages. Brandon was asking me today how big the books were. It's
Too big.
980.
well, I just finished Manacled, which was a 1,500-page
Yeah,
book.
so you could have read
I
Kingdom.
could have read it.
You
could have read
could
it.
have read Kingdom of Ash. It's life changing, to be honest. It's. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say it's better than the Harry Potter ending.
Okay, but also I'm not obsessed with the rest of the series. Like, it's just okay.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites.
So
Wow.
I know that's like a hot take.
I like it.
Yours is an even hotter take.
hard.
So
Okay. Well,
let's like the rest of the series. I just didn't love it.
we need to give it a fair chance.
That's true.
I'm
You
telling
love
you,
it.
the last page, I was like, okay, like this is very intriguing. I
Like-
want to know what happens, but I'm not obsessed the way that Akatar pulled me in. I think I accept the
Because
same.
read it out of the wrong order.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that makes sense.
Like, the first book is amazing. Actually, I love the first book.
Yeah.
So
Well, I think my top read, I literally read it like the first 3 days of 2024, was A Court of Silver Flames, because I'm a Nesta
haven't read.
really.
I read that one either.
That was my favorite.
SJM is like
All of them.
fine. I read the first 2 books of Akatar and
Have to finish
have
it.
not
I
finished
haven't
it.
thrown a glass. You have to finish Akatar.
Okay,
think
deal.
Okay,
deal.
Would like
Well,
Silver Flames.
She probably wouldn't.
Too spicy.
Yeah, it's honestly it's it's up there on the spice level. It's like 3 chili peppers, 3 borderline 4.
But not for a while. But not for a while. Like
Some of the verbiage would make Katarina.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, probably.
You could just skip over it.
The recipe's
It
okay.
is so good.
I don't love
It
that
is.
part,
I
but
love the ending. I do.
Love the ending, but I have so many more questions, which is why Sarah J. Maas, you got to come out with that 6th book because there's a lot of unanswered questions.
but don't you have to read Crescent City?
That's a rumor, and I've not heard a lot of people like. It's like just a in the rumor mill. Like it's not.
I've heard you have to read everything.
Well, that's.
I'm
wanting
gonna have to
read
pass
that.
on Crescent City. It's at the bottom of my to be read list. Yes,
It's
unfortunately.
like in the middle. Like I might one day, but I'm not
Like
like
there's some other things I want to read first.
Well, I was
same.
on reading it, so I'll let you guys know if you should read it or not.
okay.
That's fair.
All right. My next book that I absolutely loved this year was Two Twisted Crowns, and it's probably on both y'all's lists.
You see, I listed it as a series. Like I know that was probably against the rules, but like that entire
Oh, I totally didn't.
Shepherd King series was
Oh,
so
it's amazing.
good.
If you have not read that series, it's amazing.
incredible.
We were
I don't
pretty
remember
obsessed
who
with
the
it.
author is.
Rachel Gillig.
That's right. Okay.
It's so good, and she has a new series coming out in May.
I'm excited.
So
Yeah,
mhm.
I'm
I don't know what it's
excited.
called.
It's gonna
But it
be on
looks
my
good.
like top of the list just because her writing in that book was so
Oh,
good. I
So
loved it.
good.
This
So
year
good.
was a crazy reading year for me because this year I read ACOTAR, Throne of Glass,
That is a
Fourth Wing, and Iron
That's
Flame
true.
for the very first time in 2020.
You were late on that.
welcome.
Yes, I was late on that. But I think the Shepherd King series took it for me.
Oh, so good.
That was
There was so.
10 out of 10.
I wish there were 3 books in that series. There could have been
Yeah,
more
there
things.
could
But
be so much
she could do. Yeah,
she could have done.
I loved the idea of the 12 cards. Like that was probably one of the coolest things,
Mhm.
and like, what he had to sacrifice for each
one. Which couple did you like better?
I
And is it Ione? I always say Ione.
I say Ione. That's how it is in the audiobooks. Ione.
I said Ione. They were amazing.
I just didn't feel like. Oh my god, I'm so bad with names.
Raven and Elspeth.
Yes,
Had chemistry.
they did, but like
The
it was
nightmare
for
in the
half a
middle of it.
second because the nightmare took over, which I understand might have been like the goal in the book.
Yeah.
But I wish there had been more expansion of it, which I'm glad she switched to the love interest in the second book because
it
there
was
was
just
not a lot
flat.
of love interest.
Yeah,
in the
there
first,
was.
yeah.
I was telling her after all of that, after everything they'd been through in the 2 books, they should have been the ones getting married at the end.
Yes.
I don't.
There should have been more with.
There-
Yeah, I agree with that.
That's the only thing that I would have done differently. Is
Okay.
Raven and Elspeth should have been the ones getting married.
Like
at
they should have
that
had a.
book.
That's true.
because of everything they've.
But I wonder if they needed more time because they were.
Third book.
Okay, fair.
Third book.
But also, I
That's
think
fair.
it was like a lot of like self-development with
Mhm.
each of their characters and not just them together. Like I think the love interest between them two was just like an added thing, but like the development of the two and like
Yeah.
I really think the story was about the nightmare and his full circle moment. He was the focus of the two.
Did y'all like him?
I loved.
I love
too.
that one of the last scenes where he's explaining how everything came to be. I was like, this is the best part of both of these books.
And then he was
So good.
talking about he was treating her like the daughter
Oh,
because he didn't get to treat his daughter that way. And I was like, I love you.
We better put on here spoilers.
Oh yeah,
Sorry.
major spoilers.
yeah, sorry.
Yeah, don't listen to that part.
But honestly, like I guess it could give some stuff away.
I mean,
Nothing
the
like
couple
crazy. Yeah.
and the fact that
Oh, true.
like the nightmare is
Yeah. Taking
a
over all the-
person,
Yeah.
and yeah, don't listen to the
Spoiler.
Haven't read the.
Sorry. Another series, the Powerless series.
Oh,
Oh yeah,
Powerless number 4. Yes,
I don't
absolutely.
have that on mine, but it's up there.
It is so
Powerless better than
good.
Reckless.
I don't know. I like Reckless
Mm.
better.
I
Does it-
predicted the ending to Reckless
I didn't know.
because one of my friends was like, something so crazy is going to happen. You're not going to be able to guess it. And I said, what about this? And she was like,
Hot take. I love Kit more.
we are not the same person.
You know, like Kai too. I like Kai,
No.
but I love Kit.
He's gonna turn evil. Yes.
I support this. He's falling into the shoes of his father way too easily.
I mean, fair.
I love Kai,
Hi.
but
I mean, I love him too, but I also really like Kit.
I mean,
dare I
Kit
say?
and Powerless. I did not like Kit and Reckless.
That's fair.
Okay, no, that's fair. I like that.
That's fair.
so.
Character development.
Mhm.
Big deal. I would dare I say, like, Powerful, though, brought out more emotion than Powerless and Reckless together.
She
I-
did not deserve that.
Cried like a baby. It was so beautiful. Just the whole story. The moment I realized what was happening, and because of the ending of Powerless, I was like, no. We are not backtracking and getting this love interest.
What
Like,
is his name in Powerful? The
Um,
name.
Mac.
Yeah, M-A-K, right?
I think that there's something more.
He's gonna come back.
Oh, and I love him.
I do too.
Oh,
But like I've seen
I love
theories where he is related to Peyton somehow. Maybe.
Oh,
I don't know. But I've just seen that. And like that's why
it is weird that they kind of threw him in there and then didn't make anything about him.
he had to be a part of the
fearless.
Fear story if he was included
Probably.
in that novella.
I
Because
love
I
him,
think
though.
that the novella, like, it showed a lot of what we didn't see happening in Powerless. And sometimes novellas are just like, here's a fun story, but this connected Powerless.
I agree.
So I do think
So
it's
good.
like a bigger.
Fearless comes out in what, April?
Yeah.
Yes.
Ooh, okay. Good to know.
The first 6 months of the year booked for me. Sorry.
Yeah.
One of mine is The Two of Us by Taylor Torres. And I don't think either one.
I've never
ever
heard of
read
that.
No.
Okay.
Romance.
No. I mean,
Really?
I picked it up thinking it was a really cute romance cover with butterflies.
Pretty books.
It was so
I
pretty.
don't know if I've seen it.
It wrecked my heart. Wrecked it.
What's it? It's
The Two of Us by Taylor Torres.
What's it about?
I can't say too much because like it
feel
pretty much gives it away from the beginning, but it's basically her best friend and her brother. But like something happens with the best friend. But I can't say more than that because it gives it away.
Okay.
But literally, if you want to cry.
So I'll read that if you read 1,000 Boy Kisses.
Yeah, I have it. I'll bring
They're
it
both
to you.
heart-wrenching.
If you want to cry, just read that. And I was literally crying 30% on.
My thing is if you can get
the whole story.
Falling. But it was so beautiful.
That's how 1,000 Boy Kisses is too. If you can get me crying though, it's like you clearly did
Congratulations.
something to me. So you get credit for that.
Whole book.
I also, this is not something that I've seen very widely. This Cruel and Lovely. I need to look up what series it's a part of. I listened to all 4 of them, and that easily like cured my ACOTAR Fourth Wing hangover. Like that series was so good. By Stacey Stark, so good, and the plot from beginning to end kept me interested. Like all the books, I think I listened to them in like less than a month.
Added.
Yes, Kingdom of Lies, maybe.
I think have I seen it on Kindle Unlimited? Maybe. It might be
because I got it off of Hoopla. That's how I listened to it. It was so good. Fae, humans, hybrids, so good.
Well, going into that, I have Zodiac Academy.
That's on my list.
Okay,
TBR.
It's amazing, but it's long. I've read 3 books, and there's a lot. There's 9.
I've seen the stack.
There's 9 in the original series, and then there's 5 and 5 in the 2 spinoffs, but you have to read the spinoffs in between. So, like, you read the first 3 books, then you read the first spinoff series. Yeah. So, I've read the first 3, and I have not started the spinoff series. But the second book, Ruthless Fae, is amazing. It is, like, reality trash, but it is, like, everything that you want in a good fantasy book.
So, on Hoopla, they have the dramatized version of the first one. But I listened to Frost, the dramatized version on Hoopla.
Okay.
I loved it, but people bashed on Goodreads about how the dramatized version cut out a lot of the good stuff of the actual book. So I'm trying to wait until I can actually read the book because I'm afraid.
There's a ton of characters, so I wonder if that would make it better.
Like all of them having speaking parts. It could be.
I cannot get into audiobooks though.
I can't either.
I just can't.
But it's basically like Harry Potter mixed with all the fantasy we're reading now.
Okay, immediately interested.
It's really.
In case you haven't realized, we are all 3 different very readers, and like how we read and what we read is
very different.
You are pretty similar.
We're very similar.
Other than like
in what way?
Like,
I mean, I read what y'all read.
We like trash though.
You can brag up the spice.
Enjoy the smug.
Okay, fair. Yeah, no.
But you like the romance side of it.
Yeah, I'll read that.
I have only really read fantasy, so I'm trying to get out of that because Fourth Wing, Rebecca Yaros, you got me because I've not been able to read anything but fantasy. But I listen to a lot of books.
Primarily romance with a smidge of romantasy.
And then Katarina reads just
literally
everything.
Yeah.
But okay, speaking of romance, I entered my cowboy romance era this year.
Yeah. Chestnut Spring, is that what's up there?
No, the Chestnut. Well, it's by
Wallace
Silver.
Is that the one with Wild Love?
Yes, Wild Love.
Is that what you have?
It's not the Chestnut Spring series. It's her newest series that just came.
Wild Eyes.
Wild Love is the first one.
Yeah.
Wild Eyes is the second.
Okay.
And then there's a new one. It's Wild something.
That one's coming out this year.
Yeah.
Wild Love was so good.
I'm on my Kindle right now. I'm so excited.
I think so. Like, it's not
Like Cowboy Romance, I think like
Do you just imagine this like Walmart reads that are like $5.98? It's like
this
front book. Yeah.
no, Cowboys are like just broody and hot. I'm just saying, like, they're good. They're a little spicy, so I feel like you would like it a little bit more.
Probably
But
tolerate it a
all
lot more.
good. But they have like a good storyline.
As long as the plot is good, I just kind of like, okay.
But like, I first read the Flawless and Elsie Springs, and then I binged every one of her other books. Like,
okay.
I binged all 5 of them, and then this one came out. I just kept eating it.
I downloaded Wild Loves first.
Yeah,
I loaded that on Kindle.
Yeah,
it's
so
on Kindle.
that one is
I haven't done anything with it.
my top 5. So
Okay,
my last one in my top 5 fantasy go figure was Lightlark. Like that and Nightbane. I haven't started Skyshade. I know there's a lot of hate on Skyshade, but the first 2, so good. I know it's YA, but it was like a good.
It doesn't feel YA.
I feel like I would have
Minimal
liked
building.
it a lot more if it wasn't YA.
Probably. Like there's
You
so
would
much
have
that
liked
could have been done with the world building.
Right.
Yeah,
That's fair.
So, like, I literally just finished that like a couple of hours.
Yeah, it was a quick read. I think I finished it in 2 or 3
I didn't
days.
love it. Like, I liked it, but I didn't love it, you know?
That's how I felt. And then I can't do audiobooks, and I got through half of Nightbane on audiobook and was
You
like,
gotta finish.
nah. So I might have to reread
At
it.
the end of it, I was like, ugh,
I
what
can't tell you a single thing happened.
So
I don't know.
really
started
felt
memories back.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they had before chapters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I got that part, but
so mad at Grimm at the end of that book. I was so mad.
I love Oro.
I am Team Oro. That's all I'm saying. I was
Always.
She's a Dane lover.
I don't love Dane. Actually, rereading it, I'm like, but also,
this
I
is
love
very
Zeta,
much a
but-
reverse Stefan versus Damon moment. Like, it's all I'm feeling. And I am Team Stefan right now in this, not Team Damon.
I'm sorry. Love you, Grimm.
I mean,
okay, after the first book, were you still Team Grimm?
Absolutely. I know, like, but I felt like he was gonna have a redemption story.
He
like
was not really existent in the first book.
No, he wasn't.
But I also kind of figured, like, I predicted the end. Like, I
did not. I was shook.
No.
Oh, I didn't. I was shook.
So through, I was like, it's gonna be someone close to her. Like, it has to be someone close to her because
it didn't click for me until Celeste. She did something sketchy towards the end, and I was like, oh wait.
I kind of picked.
I didn't figure it out
3/4 of the way through that I think Celeste is kind of the sketch one because I didn't think it was Grimm and I didn't think it was Oro. And is it Azul? Is that his
No?
Yeah,
Azul. Like, I didn't think it was him either. But then he ended up being the one.
What's the Moonling's name?
Leo.
Leo. I think she was too easily painted like the bad guy, so that would have been too much of an obvious choice.
Yeah.
She's still kind of the bad guy in that.
She is. I think she is, and I think her story is going to be the problem.
Or could she have a redemption arc? Because I could kind of see that with her. She's not as big of a villain as she could be, so she easily could have a redemption.
I feel like it was easy for Celeste to, like, feed Isla what she wanted.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah, true.
So, like, she probably...
Because Isla didn't have anyone else that she trusted.
Yeah, that's fair.
I am excited though about Alex Astor's new book coming out this spring. The romance.
Yeah, I'm excited about it too.
Something about the city. City
or something.
Summer in the city. That sounds right. Has pink edges. That's all I know. It's pretty.
I'm buying
it. Is pretty.
It's pretty. Literally.
It's pretty.
I don't care if it's good or not. It's gonna be a shelf trophy. So
that's fair. We can put it up here once we put a bookshelf up.
Oh yeah.
All right, now into our worst books.
Oh boy.
I have a hot take.
What my
I have a hot take.
Go for it.
When the Moon Hatched.
Oh, I've heard that. That is either
so popular
or
on the
you
book
hate
talk and the bookstagram.
Overhyped.
Way.
Oh, yeah, I've heard it's overhyped.
I finished half of it.
Did you
DNF'd it. Like, I feel like halfway through an 800-page book, I gotta have something.
You have to be hooked.
So it's all world building.
I gotta have some. Well, not even that. Like, there's one part in there where they, like, duel for her marriage and, like, all of them. It was just awful. Like, I had no clue what was going on. I was so confused by, like, who those people were, what they were looking for, and it ends up like the main love interest had known her before, kind of like Grimm, and all of her memories got erased. and they were all tiptoeing around her, trying not to, like, I was so confused
Interesting.
halfway through the book. And I'm like, I'm not spending another 400 pages confused.
My thing is, I've heard such mixed things on it, and with it being such a big book, there's so many other things I'd rather read.
Yeah.
There's
If it was not under big, I would totally read it.
so many other better books.
Love or hate it. The Facebook group I'm in.
Like,
Hate it.
okay, I kind of compare that one to A Fate Inked in Blood. Have you read that one?
I've
It's
read
kind of
half of it.
Well, and I've heard that it's mixed reviews, but I'm like, it's like a quarter of the length, so I'd at least try it. Whereas When the Moon Passed
First,
is way
like,
too long.
4 chapters of A Fate Inked in Blood.
Yeah.
And I just couldn't. It was too fantasy for me. Like, it was more fantasy than romantasy.
Like, compare it to what?
Compared to, like, because, you know, I'm not like an avid fantasy reader. I'm
More in
more into fantasy, but I'm not like there yet. Y'all might enjoy it a little bit more than I did, but it was very
more
Viking.
thing.
Yeah. I wonder if it's anything like A Daughter of No Worlds. No?
I've read that whole book.
Okay.
It was very Viking
Reading.
romance,
I think I'd like that,
forced
actually.
marriage, stuff like that.
Mm.
I know, I kind of think
Well, I'll bring it to you.
the second one's coming out, like, in the next couple months.
Yeah.
I said I was
So we could read that.
another chance because I started reading it in the summer when I was very much like not feeling fantasy. So I was gonna give it another chance. I just haven't.
We could all read
around
that.
to it. Yeah,
That'd be fun.
Long, I don't
Maybe
No, it's
it can
super
be
short.
a future book club book.
Wink, wink.
Wink.
Okay, what's one of your?
Okay. I'm sorry, Chris and Hannah. I have not read Chris and Hannah
Okay.
except for Comfort and Joy. And that was possibly like the most infuriating book I've ever read. One, it was super short. Two, I obviously read things that are not real. Like dragons, not real. But like
They're obviously not real.
But they're obviously not real. But like the plot of this book was so just far fetched. Like I would have rather her survive the plane crash than it for it to have been fake. I could not get that.
Honestly, everything up until you find out she's in the coma
Yeah.
was a little unrealistic, but it was fine.
I started reading where they were getting to that, and I was like, this is not okay. If this is about to tell me she's in a coma, I'm going to lose it. And then she summed up the whole book in a chapter.
Okay.
And, like, I don't know.
So for anyone listening, if
I
you've read
get
Chris and
past
Hannah,
it.
tell her she needs to finish other books because she's the best author ever.
Sorry.
That book was just not good. It almost hit my bottom list of the list.
Don't read that book.
Hannah book. Well, that was our book club book that I just decided not to read. Now I'm very thankful I didn't.
Yeah.
So I read The Gift, which was Frida McFadden, and I love Frida McFadden, but this was a 40-page Christmas novella. That was just...
I also read a short Christmas novella.
I don't know what to say about it.
Called Cruel Winter with You.
I almost read that. I started that and I didn't know.
No.
Yeah, I'm glad I
Valley
didn't read it.
Wood.
Mm-hmm.
Dude was a stalker from the get-go. Mark, who spells their name Mark with a C anyways. Mark with
Is
a
it Marcus?
No, it was Mark with a C. He was a stalker. It was literally like reading a 50-page book on you, Joe from You.
Ugh.
Like, creepy.
Sometimes, I don't know, like, I pass over novellas sometimes because I'm like, if this is just like except for Powerful, girl, you got me with that one, Lauren. But
Mm-hmm.
Something
like
good.
some novellas, I'm like, ugh, I feel like this is just like a
Yeah.
That was me too. So you know how they did the Cruel Winter series?
Mm-hmm.
There were
Yeah.
a bunch of them.
Mhm.
They did that in like Valentine's, and I did. Christina Lauren had one.
Uh-huh.
You've heard some.
Yeah,
of hers.
I've read.
The Exception to the Rule.
Oh, I love that book.
Which one?
Okay.
Oh, that is a good one.
On Honeymoon.
Love Words. Amazing.
That's on my list.
So good.
That's on my list.
That's the
That's
best one.
another one that'll make
Really?
you cry.
Oh, it's amazing.
Bring it. Well, I
And
love it.
then
Okay, please.
Abby Jimenez did one, The Worst Wingman Ever, and those were so good.
Okay.
So you could try.
Abby Jimenez is on my list
Oh.
of people to read. I've not read any of her books.
I've read every
They're
one of her books.
amazing. Then you need to read the novella.
I think I
They're
have
so
the
good.
Yours Truly series.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That one's the whole series is on my list.
Yours truly was an honorable mention
I
on the top 5 list. So
Oh, I put one that y'all probably don't like. Divine Rivals on my honor.
Oh, I didn't like that.
It was
I liked it.
so
Did
pretty.
you like Ruthless Vows?
Yes, I thought it was so pretty.
Better than the first one, though.
I don't remember. I just remember being like, wow, this is just really beautiful.
I read it right after fourth one.
Yeah, don't do that.
I liked the
So,
first
like-
book in Divine Rivals, and I thought it was really.
You read
cute.
Ruthless Vows? The second one?
No, I didn't
Okay.
read it. They made
I didn't
me
either.
mad at the end. The end of it made me mad, and then also made me not want to read the second one. But I have it.
If you go into it thinking it's fantasy like I did, it's not.
Def-
It's
I
fantasy.
thought it was fantasy.
Me too.
It's
So,
dabbled.
yeah,
And so I had
it's not
literally
fantasy.
no. It's I would say it's just like contemporary romance, and then with magical typewriters.
But yeah, with the gods, I don't know.
I don't know.
I
I
don't know.
don't think it was full fantasy though, like at all.
But like, I had typed in books like Fourth Wing, and because I had just finished Fourth Wing, and that was what came up. So I was like, oh, I'll try it, and it was nothing like Fourth Wing.
Powerless was the
not
only
good.
thing that cured my Fourth Wing hangover.
Y'all wanna say one more worst?
Yeah.
The Guest, B.A. Paris. You like B.A. Paris,
I
don't you?
do like B.A.
That was horrible.
That's
couldn't
like
tell you
one
what
of
it's
the
about.
thrillers that I read. Suspense was B.A. Paris.
I could not tell you what it's about. It was terrible. I like pushed through it because it's like
I haven't.
300
That's
pages.
not one that I've read.
Don't read it. It's not worth it.
That's good.
Not worth it.
I cannot ever get over this book, A Court of Frost and Starlight. That
The
is
other one was on your top.
absolutely, that was a waste of printing.
I agree.
Oh, it was so. I read A Court of Frost and Starlight in the same amount of time that I read Silver Flames, because
Like,
it
what,
took me
150 versus, like,
forever to
600
get through it.
pages?
Yes, I was like, this is like, I had a hard time getting through ACOTAR, and people were like, that's the price you pay to get into the world, and I was like, okay. I ended up loving ACOTAR at the end.
Yeah,
This
one was good.
No, I think that was probably just a bad filler book.
It was.
I don't think
Who was it about?
good.
It was like the time after the
Yeah.
war, like leading up to just like prepare for what was. It gave kind of a backstory of what was happening to Nesta.
It was literally a book of world building.
Yeah,
like and that was just
Here's what they're doing in the 6 months following this massive event that just happened and was life changing for them. And they're like walking the streets of Valeris.
Do you
and-
have to read it?
yeah.
No.
I think you have to.
There was maybe like 3
to get
chapters.
the backstory, but it could have just
To
been
understand.
Why, I was going to say, why could they not have just thrown it in?
To understand, I guess, where Nesta's coming from, because the Silver Flames is a full development of Nesta, and love it so much. I'm a Nesta girly, but you have to understand, like, because people start it and they're like, oh my God, I hate Nesta. She's the worst person
That's
ever.
true.
And I'm like, she like will end up being your favorite person by the end.
Yeah, I feel like you have to understand this to
You do.
really get.
I think I'm related. Like, I relate with Nesta, not actually related to a Fae. No, I'm just kidding. I relate a lot to her
We need to
in
get
her
hunting in the woods.
yes, catch me in the woods, not waiting for Tamlin.
No,
Not waiting for Tamlin.
Tam.
Oh my God, I remember reading ACOTAR being like, wow, Tamlin's not so bad.
Yeah, and then he gets bad.
Ugh, boo. But yeah,
My last worst book was Tattered by Devney Perry, which is another book y'all
Never heard of it.
no,
it was one of those books that was really, really, really good until the last like fourth of the book.
And
And
you're like,
then
why?
the last fourth of the book was so bad it made it one of my worst books of the year. Like it was like a accidental pregnancy, like one night stand thing, which I don't mind those, but he didn't know about it.
like outside marriage.
He didn't know about the baby until she was like 7 years old, and he walked into a bar and saw her and was like,
That's every country song I've
yeah,
heard.
and it was so good. It was like a blah blah blah. They got together.
Yeah.
Then at the end of the book, she just threw like this random thing in there about the mom getting kidnapped randomly. And I'm like, where did this come from? Like, this makes no sense. Why did you put this in here? And then the man comes in to rescue her. Like, that's ever going to happen.
What's the book called?
Tattered. It was,
Mhm.
honestly, you know what it was? It was one of those Facebook ads that got me.
Or those like free Kindle books that are like, how long was it? Was it one of the short Kindle ones?
I mean, it was like 250 pages. Like, this was fine.
At least it wasn't like
Right.
a lot of your-
It was a Facebook ad, and it would have been so good had she just continued the story and not thrown in that other plot twist.
I feel like, what is
Surprise pregnancy is plot twist, and
Right.
you don't need to have her
Yeah,
kidnapped
that's
as well.
No,
Like, it would have been a really good book otherwise, but now, Devney, don't do that again.
Devney.
Never heard of it.
Uh-uh. All right.
Do y'all have any honorable mentions? I had one and you're going to hate it.
I know what it is.
What?
I'm not an Emily Henry fan.
This is
Aw.
first 5 just for you.
I'm not an Emily Henry fan most of the time, but I love People We Meet on Vacation. I don't know why. I think it's the whole best friend thing. I love that.
Hot take. That's the only book I've ever given a 2-star.
Oof.
I've given a few 2 stars. Not a ton, but a few.
People We Meet on Vacation is the only book I've ever given a 2.
I'm pretty sure in the comments, or the review, I literally put, I'm not an Emily Henry fan, but I love this one 5-star.
And I think the Emily Henry book I loved the most, you didn't like.
Which one?
Book Lovers.
Oh, it was so boring. I didn't like that at all. But I think I like the trope
Yeah.
people meet on vacation because I love the whole best friend.
No, I just couldn't get behind it.
I gotta throw in my honorable mention because it's not of the like genres we've been talking about. The Stranger in the Mirror. Liv
That is
Constantine.
great.
Such a good.
I
book.
actually put it as my worst book of that month only because I read so many good things. That that was a good book.
I loved it.
That was one of our
Kept
book
me
club books.
intrigued. Yes,
It was good.
the whole time. It was so good. I love me a good
What's good?
thriller every now and then to be like a good palate cleanser.
All right, my honorable mention is Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez.
That's a good one too.
The
The only problem with her book, I love every single one of her books, but they all blend together, and I can't tell you what each one's
it's
about.
the Brother Needs a Kidney.
The nurses.
Yeah, the nurse doctor.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Mm-hmm.
I
It's
have it, but
so
all of
good.
hers like I don't know.
They do, but they're all
Blend
like
together.
real.
And that's so good.
About them.
And when I'm reading them, I'm like, but then I like just
Like really.
They're all real.
yeah,
life.
they're really good.
Yeah.
So you need to read her novella.
Yeah.
It's really, really good.
Well, this was fun.
Yeah. So
Book club.
that's what we're gonna talk about.
Yeah. It's our first one, guys. We are doing a book club on
Fable. And then we'll talk about it in a February episode.
You do not have to be a mom to join our book club.
No, you just gotta like to read.
Podcast. Yeah, we're just
Or
moms.
we are.
You just have to have
Or not like reading. And
Yeah.
We started a book club with people at church, and half the people did not like to read. And then
Gotten huge too.
I didn't like to read any of the books y'all picked.
okay, fair. But
Busy.
a lot of the people that came were like, I'm not a reader. And now they all read. So
I will say I joined. I was like, these are not usually books that I read. Rebecca Yarros, like
some not good
I had
ones.
not read before.
I'm trying really hard, okay, to read. I'm reading this one actually. So-
I'm glad that our last read was Comfort and Joy. We have fixed that with our next read.
So the next book or the January book club book is Variation by Rebecca Yarros. We will put the link down below.
Yes. For the
join
Fable.
book club group.
And then we'll talk about it on the podcast in February.
Yep.
Yes.
So, yeah. So hit subscribe and follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook.
Yep. All things.
Yeah.
And if you liked it, leave us a good rating.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Awesome.